sure doesn't look right. Sorry, guys. Hold on just a minute. Bear with me if you would. That looks terrible. Come on, man. All right, hold up. I'll be right back. Oh, there we go. Looks like we fixed it. Maybe not. A little bit. All right, acceptable. How is everyone? I think I'm gonna have to get on my other account to see the chat. Oh, no, I can see the chat. Oh, look at that. Everything's working today. How's it going, Savage Gang? How are you? Hope you're having a good Thursday. What is it, Thursday? It is Thursday. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Before you ask me, it's my dog snoring. I hope everyone's having a good day. That don't even look right. That does look terrible. It looks horrible. Apologies. I'm doing my best with what I got. All right, I guess that's what it'll be. Doesn't look bad on stream. Great. Thanks for letting me know. I mean, it looks bad on my, like, from where I'm looking at it, it looks pretty bad. I mean, it looks good on my phone. I'm guessing it probably looks good on yours as well. But on my PC, it looks really bad. Not really bad, it just looks bad. Oh well. We're doing it like this today because I have to keep my phone in charge. Good evening. We don't move in fear. How's it going? How are you today? Hey, Savage Gang. I haven't seen you here before. Is this the first time you're in the chat? Is this the first time you're talking? Have you been just like what do we call them? Ghost followers? I've never seen you. I don't remember seeing you in the comments. I don't remember seeing you in the chats. I feel like it's the first time we're interacting here. Been in your comments before. Ah, my apologies. My apologies. Perhaps you were under a different name in the comments than your handle that I'm seeing. I know my handle on here is different than my actual name, so my apologies. How are you? How are you? How is everybody? Favorite some of my comments previously. Oh, okay. So you've been commenting. How are you, man? How's the program treating you? I just talked to some TIs and messages. 24/7 V2K. That sucks. I'm sorry, brother. That is horrible. You have my empathy. I'm sorry to hear that. I just spoke to a couple of TIs in private messages. They sent me messages through my Instagram for this page, and they were speaking on. I mean, one of them was speaking on he basically feared for his life. I tried to give him some encouraging words, basically let him know that, hey man, we can't dictate how we go. We can dictate how we live while we're here. So don't think about it too much, because at the same time, it's like, be safe, keep yourself safe, keep your wits about you, but dedicating your whole life to just, how can I put this? Dedicating your life to living in fear is no way to live. It's no way to choose to live. So we don't move in fear asks, sorry, I have increased my targeting since last year. Horrible. Yeah, it's my bulldog snoring in the background. Sorry about that. She's fat. I'm sorry to hear that. I know for a lot of people, things have been, 2020 seems to be the year. I know you're speaking of 2025, but 2020 seems to be the year where everybody agrees it either started or got worse in 2020. So, I do feel horrible for you that it's getting worse since last year. I would say keep the hope, keep the faith. Stay hopeful. Keep praying. Keep praying. We don't move in fear says, when being gang stalked, is it possible to travel without being bothered? I suppose it is. I suppose it is possible to travel without being bothered. It really depends what kind of program you're in, basically, or at what stage of this program you're in. If you're a higher on their priorities, then you're probably someone is probably possibly telling you 24/7, and they know your movements, especially if it's routine type of movements. If you're basically doing these A to B travels on a daily basis, then you can expect to be harassed, to be followed. It's gonna happen. However, if you become, I heard someone say this actually today. It was I didn't hear him say it, he wrote it. But it was this Chinese guy who speaks on conspiracies. Now we know the difference between a conspiracy and reality is about 6 months, give or take. But he said that the weak, and when he spoke of the weak, he spoke of us, right? Now, in this situation, he's talking about us. But he's saying the weak win the war when they stop trying to be strong and become, the word he used was, in French, it's imprévisible. In English, the word is, unpredictable. Sorry. English is not my first language. He said the weak win the war when they stop trying to be strong and instead become unpredictable. And that got me thinking a lot. And it got me thinking, what would being unpredictable look like as a TI? Now, obviously, I don't think that I'm going to get to the bottom of it tonight, or maybe I am with you guys' help. Maybe I am. Who knows? I'm looking forward to hearing what you think it could possibly mean, because I do think that in this situation, if you're going up against the government, if you're going up against 3-letter agencies, you're the weak. You don't have what they have. You don't have the resources they have. You don't have the manpower they have. You're just not in a position of power against them. All we have is our faith and our minds. And we must keep both very strong. But what does that mean? Becoming unpredictable. I think, here's what I think. I think becoming unpredictable, what it means in our situation, what it looks like in our situation is not giving in to fear. Because when you are fearful, you are predictable. When you are riddled with anxiety, you are predictable. When you are low vibrational, when you are being taken over by feelings, by low vibrational feelings, low vibrational emotions, you are predictable. They know what a fearful person will do, how a fearful person will react. They know that. What they don't know, what they don't understand, what they don't prepare for is how a person vibrating at a high frequency, someone who's empathetic, someone who's calm, someone who's assertive but gentle, someone who cannot be shaken. It's hard to predict what will they do, which is why I think that they try to instill fear in you, because at the very least, now we can predict what you're going to do. So before I read the comments, there's 13 people in the chat. I only see 3 likes. If you guys could get the likes up for me, it would really mean a lot to me. If you guys could do me that favor, I would much appreciate it. Thank you. So let's read some comments. Here's somebody snoring in the background. It's my dog. It is my dog. The reactive abuse is daily. They tried to make my dog bark by shaking their keys and calling his name. They filming me in the gym. Security caught them. Kids chased me around in summer last year. Asian, it's very, very important. I've had the same situation many times. People try to get me to react by getting my dogs to bark or things of that nature, just making noise. It's very important to always remember that when you are part of this program, you are always under supervision. You're always being watched. So, and everything you say is recorded as well. And even if it isn't recorded, there's a possibility that it could be, and you have to keep that in mind. So, reactive abuse is what they want. Reactive abuse is the tool they use in order to recruit more people against you. Example, they get your dog to bark, you lash out, you scream at your dog, whatever, you just lash out at your dog because you want him to be quiet, and you've had it because they've been doing this over and over and over and over again. What you must understand is that people will only see your reaction. When being shown your reaction, they will only see your reaction. They will not have any clue as to what happened before, or if anything happened before. And of course, the person that is sharing that information with them is going to make sure that there is no inkling that maybe we messed with that person, prior to them giving into reactive abuse. Reactive abuse is, the rope that they give you so that you can hang yourself, so to speak, figuratively. So it's very important to keep that in mind. As a matter of fact, the reason why a lot of people are not speaking up about what they go through, about the whole experience of being gang stalked, is because of reactive abuse, because they gave into reactive abuse and now they feel trapped. They're like, if I speak up, they're going to show what I did or how angry I was to everybody. And, if if you're going to be a target, which we are, if you're going to be a target, don't make yourself an easy target. Don't give them the tools to go after you, right? If you have anger or whatever and you need to take it out, find some productive ways to take it out rather than, I mean, for myself, one of the best ways that I found to take it out is just talking to people who are going through the same thing as me. It makes me feel not crazy. It makes me feel it gives me validation in that moment, and that little bit of validation sometimes is nothing for me to go, it's fine, I'm not alone. It's gonna be okay, you know. Even if I don't know that it's gonna be okay. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm just saying it gives me that feeling that it is gonna be okay in that moment. If you would allow me just a moment, I'm just going to fix the positioning of my camera. I feel like it's a little low, and it would be much better if it was a little higher. There we go. There you go. Is that better? I feel like that's better. I don't know. You guys be the judge. So yeah, I hope that helps, Asian. We don't give in to reactive abuse because we know that this is the tool that they use against us. StyXL says, my stalking is amped up. Usually I had an incident 2 or 3 times a week. Now it's 5 or 8 times a day. They don't like I report a stalker of my dad to the police. Yeah, if you expose an abuser, usually they're not gonna like that very much. They're gonna become worse. Let's see if I can flip it. Can I flip it? I can. There we go. That's better. Actually, it's not better. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it is better. Yeah, abusers don't like to be exposed. So what? You know, if you don't want to be exposed for being an abuser, don't abuse people. Don't trip. Don't trip. Outlook is grim. They won't let my dad sleep. He is so tired he will die from the complication of sleep deprivation. Well, let's not put that into out into the ether. I'm gonna pray for your father. I'm gonna pray for your father's health. Hopefully you do the same. Everything's gonna be okay. You just gotta keep thinking that to yourself. You know, everything's gonna be okay. Because even if it's not, stressing yourself over the fact that it's not gonna be okay is not gonna help. You know. I try to always approach this from like a place of I'm strong. I can, you know, I can withstand. And I know that for a lot of people the situation is much worse than me. I don't want to minimize what anything is going through. This is terrible. This is a horrible situation. But we have to have hope. We have to have hope. If that's all we have to have it. So every time I make a different move, it's like they are shocked or can't figure out why I switched up. They think they have figured me out. Yeah. I mean, he really said it. And he's a wise person, you know? He really speaks on a lot of conspiracy theories that would get you banned here. Let's put it this way, he would get you banned here. But he does it in a way that's like playful and fun. He's a Chinese man. I think he's Chinese American. I don't think he's actually Chinese. Like born in, well, maybe he was born in China, but I think he lives here. But he speaks on American politics a lot. And yeah. Again, I'm going to repeat it for those who didn't hear it. He said, the weak win the war when they stop trying to be strong and start being unpredictable. Your enemy wants you fearful because a fearful enemy is easy to predict. You know what a fearful person is going to do, you know? They can predict that. Though fearful behavior is often unpredictable, they know fearful behavior because they cause it. They've studied it. They understand it. They don't understand, people that vibrate at a high frequency. They don't understand people that have a lot of empathy. They think you're faking it. Honestly, they think it's a tactic. You know, they see a person with a lot of empathy as a rebel. They think you're just doing it to mess with them. They think it's not true. They think it can't be. It can't be. It's not in me. Why would it be in him or in her? So I have them figured out. Think they don't like that. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam, Gracie. Peace be upon you as well. Facts, because I from public housing or low income, they label me as stupid, no talent, no skills, but was surprised when I started figuring out things and how they move. I mean, once you learn about narcissism, cluster B personality disorders, these people become very predictable and it's easy to understand them. It becomes less of a shock when you find out what they do in the background, like what they do when no one is looking. Just like, oh, I've studied narcissism. I know what evil is like. I know what evil people do, how they operate, how they think. This is not shocking to me. And it makes it easier to not react to it, because oftentimes the shock will make you react, and the idea that you can actually get through to them will cause you to interact with them or react to them. But once you understand that there's no cure for narcissism is a scientific word for evil. There is no cure for evil. Evil is evil. If there was a cure for evil, there wouldn't be evil, now would there? There's no cure for evil. You don't negotiate with these people. You don't enter into dialogue or, get angry and lash out at them in order to try to teach them a lesson, whatever lesson you're trying to teach them. That time has passed. You're trying to teach them to be empathetic, to have empathy for other human beings. You teach that to children. You cannot teach empathy to an adult. You can punish cruel behavior in an adult. That's why we have, or at least that's why I thought we had a justice system in prisons, but you're not teaching an adult to be empathetic and to become uncomfortable with causing pain to his fellow man. You either have that in you or you don't. Believe me, I was a positive guy, had fun with friends, hobbies, and had joy. But since they went after my dad, boy, things changed. My dad said the same thing. We have to have hope. I'm not sure. Well, your dad is right. I'm glad to hear that your father is saying it. And like I always say, if you're having a bad day today, have your bad day. Just have it. Have a bad day. If you need to have, a bad moment, have a bad moment. But just make sure you get out of it. Get up. Keep going. Praying helps me a lot. Praying helps me a lot. My wife tells me often, if these problems, if you have these problems weighing on your mind and you find yourself trying to understand something or trying to make sense of something, or you just find like you've been a victim of an injustice, she says, pray to God, bring it to him, let him handle it. It helps me a lot. What helps me a lot too is knowing that I stand in truth and I stand in righteousness. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, when speaking of reactive abuse, things of that nature. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I'm nothing like these people. I don't take pleasure out of hurting people. I don't plot or participate in plots to hurt people. That's not me. So being able to say that I'm standing in righteousness helps me to not dwell on these things. My thought process is everything's going to be fine. And even if it's not fine, it'll be fine in the end. I know where I'm going. Do you? You feel me? I think you understand what I'm saying. Hey, Angela, how's it going? Peace and blessings to you as well, Jenny. I would like to give you a shorter, more clean version of my gang talk in regards to your platform. Jenny, are you the one that was messaging me today? We ain't dumb. That's them projecting. Yeah, they're projecting. How do you feel being one of the leaders of the war against narcissism? I know it's difficult for us to even show our faces, but you're really the guy. I'm curious if your wife knows the tightrope you're walking on. How does it feel? Not good. Not good. You know, I had a couple of people message me today saying, like, what are you doing? Like strangers, complete strangers who are TIs. From what I could gather, I don't know. But I had a couple of them message me saying, like, you know, what you're doing is very dangerous, showing your face, talking about it. Like, what do you expect is going to happen? You know, like, don't you think things are going to get worse? One of the guy, I think his name was Ryan or something. You know, he says, don't you think things are going to get worse? Why do you keep talking about this? And this is a stranger. I don't know this person, but I basically told him, like, I didn't start this. I didn't go after these people. I didn't invade their privacies. I didn't start to dictate how their lives are supposed to be. I didn't go ruin their relationships, you know. They started with me. Whatever happens, however bad it gets, because of me exposing them, however bad it gets for me or for my loved ones or whatever it might be, whatever happens, that's not on me. I take no responsibility whatsoever about the repercussions of exposing corruption and evil. It's not on me. And more importantly, these people have made their intentions very clear. Whether I expose them or not, they have made their intentions very clear. I know what the goal of this is. So, but yeah, how does it feel being one of the leaders? Not great, you know? It's heavy. It's very heavy. I mean, I'm smiling, but I'm serious. Like I'm not joking about this. I don't know how to explain it. Have you ever been in your 20s and you've been in a situation, or like in your late teens, like 18, 19, 20 something, and you were in a situation where you felt like we need an adult, and then you realize, oh man, I'm an adult. You know, that's how I feel. I feel like somebody else should be handling this. Someone else should be speaking up about this. Someone else should be editing these videos and doing these interviews and making videos explaining what these tactics are, exposing these people. Someone else should be doing this. That's how I feel. I feel like it shouldn't be me, but it is. Do I sound a little bitter right now? I'm sorry. My apologies if I did sound bitter. But yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I don't understand why it's me. Because I don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm particularly smart. I don't think I'm particularly brave. I don't think I'm particularly courageous. I don't think I'm particularly stupid either. Or, you know, unaware of danger. You know? I don't understand. I don't understand. So, because I feel that way, I try to get people to speak up, to also do what I'm doing. Hey, raise your hand. Say this is happening to me. I'm the victim of a crime. For the past whatever years this has been happening to me. I try to get people to do that, but it's very hard for people to do that. And I know how hard it is, especially considering that I've been going through this for 19 years now. So of course it's easier for me to go, I'm going to speak up because I know this is not going to stop. This is not ending. They're not going to quit until I'm gone. So it's easy for me to go, whatever, nothing to lose. Let's do it, you know? But for the people who've been going through this for only 2020, they haven't even come to terms with the fact that, yes, all of this is actually true. Every single suspicion that you have is 100% true. A lot of them are still coming to terms with the reality of the situation. I have a very strict, radical acceptance of my situation. And, until people have that radical acceptance, then it's hard for them to go, I'm going to speak up, because they feel like, well, what if I regret it later on? What if I was wrong all along? You know? But I'm not there anymore. So I guess that's why it's me. I just answered my question. But thank you for asking. And as far as my wife wishes I wasn't doing this, but she also understands why I'm doing this. And being that she's very pious, much more than me, she's much more pious than I am. She prays a lot more than I do. She understands the importance of fighting evil. And she understands that that's what I'm doing. And I love her for that. Maybe you could encourage more to speak out if you shared your real feelings about the risk you're taking. I think if I shared my feelings about the risk I'm taking, I think most people would find me unstable if I shared my true feelings. But what I'm doing in order to get people to speak up is I'm doing interviews. I'm messaging people every day. I'm talking to people every day to try to convince them to do interviews or to ask them to do interviews. And, I don't want to pressure anybody, but I understand that this is a situation where you can't just tell people, do what I'm doing. This is a situation where you're gonna have to grab people by the hand and lead them. And I'm willing to do it. It's a lot of work, but I am willing to do it. I feel like, I hate to use that term because it's very presumptuous, but I do feel a divine calling to do this. I feel like I owe it to the world to do this. Are we not meant to leave the world in a better state than we found it? I feel like if, I was talking to this guy who was telling me what you're doing is dangerous. Don't you think that if you guys come together, you're just going to attract more attention to yourselves and put yourselves in more danger and put your families and friends in more danger? And I was just like, I'm not responsible for what happens or for what evil does once it's exposed. I'm not responsible for that. What I am responsible for is being aware of evil and doing nothing. That's me. That is my decision. If I do that, I'm responsible for that. And I don't want to be responsible for that. So I'm doing something. And perhaps if everyone did the same, we wouldn't have that issue. Because again, I'm not special. And I'm not saying I'm not special because, I don't think I'm special to myself. I'm very special to myself, but I look at myself and I look at others. I don't see a difference between myself, other TIs, or just people in general. I don't have anything particular I don't feel like I have anything particular about myself that makes me different from others. When people ask me, why are you doing this? All I can think is, why aren't you? Don't you feel like something inside of you telling you that you should do what I'm doing? You see what they do. You know what they do. You don't want to speak about it? This is making me think a lot. Sorry. Perhaps let's stick to talking about you guys, eh? There's a lot more of us than we think, and there's strength in numbers. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think. Hey, Debbie. Debbie. Deborah? Deb? How are you, Deb? Good to see you. Good to see you. I might need you. There might be some what's the word, perps in the chat. So if you're up for a game of whack-a-mole, they might show up today. I mean, they show up every single live I do, so I'm counting on you to play the game, the whack-a-mole game. I missed that game actually. The other day I sent you a lot on my story on my phone. Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember that, Jenny. Shouldn't we contact investigative journalists or documentary makers and tell our stories? We need to get out of this conspiracy theory. What is the goal according to you? So your first question is, shouldn't we contact investigative journalists and documentary makers? Yes. Yes, we should. We absolutely should. There is a documentary about what we're going through on YouTube. It's called Cognitive Liberty. Mind control or something like that. Cognitive Liberty. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go check it out. It's Cognitive Liberty. It's a really great documentary, actually. Yeah, Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control. The name of the channel is Cognitive Liberty, and it came out 4 months ago. The description of the video is pulling back the veil on the Global Targeted Individual Program, a sophisticated military-grade torture campaign of stalking and harassment with cutting-edge neuroweapons. Its tactics are akin to MK Ultra and COINTELPRO Pro, and it's still in operation today, driving ordinary innocent civilians to homelessness, unaliving, and maybe even becoming unalivers. Hear heartfelt testimonies from victims of government weaponization and discover its devastating impact on their lives. It's not paranoia, it's a cruel reality, and it could even be influencing you without your knowledge. And this is on YouTube. They have 45,000 views. It came out on November 5th. They only have like a little less than 2,000 subscribers, but it's a really great documentary. I mean, it's awesome. It's an awesome, like everything that could be happening to you, they talk about it in this documentary, and it's really well done. It's really well made, and I would definitely suggest that if you have family members, if you have friends that you want to teach about what you're going through, this is the documentary to show them. This is the one. All these other videos that you may show them where people speak on it, not gonna have the same impact. This is on a like Michael Moore level type of documentary. I mean, perhaps not with like but yeah, I would say it's a high quality documentary. It's very good. It's just very good. I wish it was shared more. I wish it shook more ground. Yeah, I support 100% what this person did, or these people did rather. Really great work. What is the goal according to you? Destabilize. Discredit. Unalive. Hey Lala, how's it going? Right, they started with me. I'm tired of hiding. When I'm doing nothing wrong, let them feel scared and ashamed. They're the criminals, not me. Yeah, exactly. I didn't start it. I didn't start this. I didn't start with anybody, and I'm not even fighting back. I'm just shining a light of truth on the evil that plots in the darkness. That's all I'm doing. You know, if they retaliate, what can I do about that? I mean, they were already planning on. whatever they're gonna do to me, they were already doing it. You understand what I mean? Why be fearful of what they're gonna do to me when they're already doing it? They've been doing it. So their goal to me is to silence and destroy so they won't have to take accountability in no form or fashion. Thank you for sharing your stories to the world. We need everyone to speak on this topic. I agree. Thank you. You're authentic. This is rare these days. Thank you. I've been speaking up, but no one believes me. Well, no one believes me either. I have a very big family, very big. I like over 200 cousins. You know, I have a huge family, huge. I probably have about 25 uncles and aunts on both sides, something like that. No one believes me. None of my cousins, none of my uncles, none of my cousins' children, my siblings. My siblings don't believe me. You know, nobody. I mean, we're talking here about about 300 people I share DNA with. None of them believe me, and they know me. The same person that you see now, is the same person I'm with them. I am with them. Cool, calm, collected, and I explain to them what's happening to me. Nobody believes me. So don't, don't dwell on it because, and this is the reason, I understand why it would upset someone or it would upset a TI that nobody believes them because it's very upsetting. You're thinking, if my own family doesn't believe me, how am I going to get a police officer to believe me? If my own family doesn't believe me, how am I going to get anyone to believe me? I mean, at least that's what I was thinking. And that's why I got upset when my family didn't believe me. But once I realized, or once I spoke to some friends or just some people, I wouldn't say friends, these were more acquaintances than anything. Once I spoke to two acquaintances of mine about this, and they told me immediately that they believe me and they've heard of things of that nature, and they believe me 100%. And I got that validation. Once I got that and I realized that nothing happens, it doesn't change anything that they believe me. Nothing happens. I got two people to believe me. Now what? You understand what I'm saying? I realize that this is nothing to be upset about, because even if my whole family believed me, what it would do is it would widen my support system. Great. All right. That's good. That's pretty cool. It wouldn't get me to my actual goal, which is I want this to end. I want people to stop suffering. I want our tax dollars to stop going to this program. Feed the poor or something. House the homeless. Fix the potholes. Maybe don't torture innocents worldwide, right? But once I realized that it doesn't make a difference, that certain people believe me, that's when I stopped being upset about it. I'm just like, whatever. You believe me? Great. You don't believe me? Okay. Let's talk about something else anyways, Because even if someone believes you, at a certain point, people's empathy runs out. My empathy runs out very often, actually. Like, I'll have a bad day. I'll wake up in the morning, look at my messages, and I'll see people writing to me in a panic and things of that nature. And, I'm very empathetic. I feel for these people, but right now I can't have empathy for you. I'm tired, right? So sometimes my empathy runs out. And I'm a very empathetic person. So you can imagine that a person who's not as empathetic as I am, you tell them about your story and they go, oh, I'm so sorry this is happening. Let's say they believe you and they go, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Okay. Let's say you talk to them again the next day about how you're feeling and about the things that are happening to you. They'll tell you, I'm sorry this is happening to you. this sucks. Let's say you bother them every day about your feelings and the things that are happening to you. Eventually, they're gonna be like, "Hey, I got kids. I got stuff to do. I can't attend to your feelings every day. Like I love you, but get it together." And in your mind, you're thinking, "How insensitive! I am living psychological warfare every day, and you can't be there for me." But the truth is, they can't. What you're asking is too much. So at a certain point, you just gotta grab your cross and just carry it. It's unfair, it's sad, but it is what it is. You can't put the weight on the people around. You can't put that kind of weight on the people around you. And when you're talking support system, other TIs are a very good support system, but at the same time, you know, I can't come to you guys and start complaining about the hardships in my life every day. I mean, I can do that sometimes, and I do sometimes. I don't think I do it very often though. I try not to. I try to keep things positive for you guys. But eventually, we gotta get we gotta get over it to a certain extent. You know. Are you talking about Nikki Adabi, Style XL? I'm very close to her. I talk to her very often. I'm in a group chat with Nikki. She's the owner of Bounce Black. I think I would like to do an interview with her, but she's a busy woman. But I think she would accept. I do believe she would accept. I've never asked her. Because every time I talk to her, I just talk to her about, we talk about each other to each other. We talk about what's going on in our lives and things of that nature. But I've never even had the thought of asking her, "Hey Nikki, you want to do an interview with me?" Yeah, she's in Toronto. She used to live in the UK, and she told me, "Hey, I'm on a flight. I'm gonna go to Toronto," and then she told me it's still like I think she was expecting it to not be as bad in Toronto as it is in the UK, because when I live right by Toronto, like super close to it, and she was hearing my story and she was saying, "Well, it's really bad," and I was telling her it's really bad in the UK from what you guys are telling me in a group chat, and she said, "Hopefully Toronto will not be as bad," and then she got there and she's like, "It's just as bad," and yeah, I should ask her. I talk to her all the time. I think I talked to her today. I should. Really should. Thanks for bringing Nikki up. It's really funny. I mean, I have a direct line with Nikki. She adds me. She added me to her TikTok group chat. She added me to her Instagram group chat. You know, like when I tell her I'm looking for someone, I want to talk to someone. She'll like, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Vouch for me. I have access to Nikki. I should ask her. "Hey Nikki, we want to hear your story." And she's a great advocate for targeted individuals. A great speaker. She's a very kind lady. Man, why didn't I think of it? You know when something is like right here and you can't see it because it's right here? It's like, looking at it's like your nose. You can always see your nose, but you forget. Like it's just not there until you go, "Oh, there it is." Anyways, that was dumb. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna ask Nikki for an interview now. I just dealt with one at work a few minutes ago. He thought he was going to lie down and block my ability to vacuum the area I needed to vacuum. I told him he needed to find somewhere else to be. He went and stood outside, left after I called my husband and told him about the incident. I got a picture of him before he left. Good. Good. If people harass you, take pictures of them. Always. Always. You don't want to be on camera? Don't harass me. We're all innocent. Met some nice people on TikTok, mostly nice, intelligent, empathetic people, victim of this idiotic program. Content creator, real nice woman. Yeah, she's really nice. Really nice. She gives me like kindergarten teacher vibes. I like Nikki. She's cool. You haven't answered any of my comments or questions the last couple streams. Just curious why. Not on Halo. I probably did not see your comments. I usually read them all. Maybe you were maybe your comments were not getting through. Sometimes if you use a certain word, your comments will be retracted. They'll be deleted by the system, by the algorithm. It has nothing to do with me. But I don't. I mean, I know who you. I mean, I wouldn't say I know who you are because I don't know who you are. But you've been here for a long time. I have no reason to not answer your questions. So fire away, man. I got you. Just look, look in the chat to see if your messages were retracted. Because if they were retracted, you'll see messages was retracted. I'll see nothing. When it's yeah. Hey, C stay, how's it going, man? There's something snoring in the background because he's a loser. Okay. I gotta speak up. See, too much. I'm just scared to speak out. Don't let fear dictate your actions. Letting fear dictate your life is such an unworthy way to live. And not speaking of like you don't deserve your life if you. I just mean like it's not worth it. If you're going to live in fear, it's just not worth it. You know. Yes, there is danger. Yes, we are part of this program. I mean, use fear to your benefit, to your advantage. Be safe, be vigilant, but don't let fear affect your decision making. Vibrate higher. You got this. Sorry. I've already tried with receipts. You've already tried what? Oh, Deb, did you get one already? I'm sorry, I can't. Well, I can't see him. Just viral media. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just got because I was looking at my phone because I just got a notification of this like this big media company messaging me, and I was confused for a second. But there's a video on my company Instagram that I posted like a month back or something like that, and it has, wow, I want to say 70 or 80 million views or something like that. Somewhere between 75 and 80 million views. I mean, something really crazy. And ever since I put up that video on my other Instagram and it went viral, I get all these pages, Puberty, just all the like medias that share stories or memes or whatever, messaging me because they want to partner up and make money off of my content or just share it and tag me. So when I saw like Viral Media or something, I don't remember the name, but they messaged me for a second. I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, right, my dog. It's my dog video. We could also start some kind of group chat some way. Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, to me, this is the group chat. And to be honest, group chats, when I participate in group chats, I'm not so much like the support system of the group chat. When I participate in a group chat, I will often be like speaking from a place of, this happened to me, that happened to me. I feel like this about that. But when I come here, I try to keep it more positive because I know that this is what you guys need. But I'm not willing to put, to sort of ask you guys to like help me carry the load because I know that a lot of you are carrying a heavier load than I am. So this is the group chat. I want to speak out. I've had such bad social anxiety. I feel like I wouldn't help at all. I feel it just hurt our cause. Huh. Well, Lala, what we could do is we could have a conversation person to person off air because I can link up with someone on YouTube and have a conversation with them and speak to them before going live. So it wouldn't have to be live. We could just talk and then I could assess and then tell you, if I think, you're right. I actually don't think that it would be beneficial for you to speak up, but for the most part, I think that it would be beneficial. I think everyone should speak up. Even the what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, People with strange personalities that are just like not palatable to people. I think everybody should speak up. I think every single person should speak up. I know for a lot of people will say like, oh no, if the awkward people speak up or like the upset people speak up, then they will muddy the waters. I don't care. I think everyone should speak up. Everybody. Make it undeniable. And I'm sure you're fine. I'm sure you're fine. I'm reading what you wrote. You seem very coherent to me. Keep up the awesome videos. You've helped me a lot. I've been a TI since my divorce in 2014. Evil ex who thinks he's God. Well, thank you very much, Kim. Very much appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words. They mean a lot to me. There is a joke in there. Someone said this joke, and it relates to what you just said. I don't mean to laugh at what you're saying. I want to cheer you up with this joke. This man said, or was it a woman? It was a woman actually. This woman said, I'm a divorced woman, and then someone asked her, really, what happened? Why are you divorced? It's like, oh well, it's always the same thing when people divorce, irreconcilable differences. And then the man asked her, well, what differences did you have? It's like, oh well, we had religious differences. And he goes, really? What were your religious differences? It's like, well, I'm a Christian, and my husband thought he was God. And we disagreed. And that's why we're divorced. I thought that was clever. So yeah, but yeah, narcissists do behave. It's very funny because they behave like gods, but like shitty gods, because they want all the control and none of the accountability. It's like they want to control everything, but nothing is ever their fault. Sounds more like a baby than a god, doesn't it? Interesting stuff. If we're supposedly such dangerous criminals, why do people put themselves at risk in order to provoke a reaction? AMC, you're a smart person. You're an intelligent person. Let's do an interview. But yeah, no, it's the gas, It's like I'm willing to accept that maybe you've been fooled into thinking that I'm an evil person, and you decide to stop talking to me or stop interacting with me. I'm willing to believe that you think I'm an evil person, so you decided to harass me because you think I'm evil. I'm not willing to believe that you think I'm an evil person and you decided to harass me and stalk me for months, years. Nah. You're convincing yourself. You're using whatever you find whatever I say or don't say in order to confirm your bias. But deep down, if I was a dangerous criminal, you'd leave me alone because you'd be scared. I mean, if you tell me that my neighbor is, you know, part of the cartel and he's an evil person and he's done this and that, I'd be scared. I'd be scared to harass that person. I mean, I wouldn't be scared like, oh, I'm moving, right? But I would be like, I'm not messing with this person. I'm going to live my life. And I'm going to steer clear of this person. But I'm not going to choose to harass them and set them up and mess with them in the hopes that they lose their shit and lash out so that, the police can get them in trouble. Like, you may have yourself convinced of it. You are fooling no one but yourself. Thanks, AMC. That was quite funny and clever. Let's do an interview. I like clever people. Did you hear about 5G and Wi-Fi is used to be able to see your silhouette anywhere as long as 5Gs and Wi-Fi? Yeah, I have heard of that. I have. And I believe it. Hey, elite follower. Meet not let their skit to work out. It looks good but different than normal in my opinion. What looks different? Oh, you mean like the maybe? I don't know what you're talking about, lead follower. Let me know. They will introduce a different event that doesn't even take place and piece it together to make you explain over it just to get a reaction to fuel their narcissistic supply. Yeah. Narcissists love to put you in a position where you are explaining yourself. They love that. They love to put you in a position where you because if you're explaining yourself, you're here, they're here. And that's how they like it. So sometimes they'll pretend that they're confused about something or that they've misheard something or that they don't understand something, or they'll say you lied about something when you didn't, or they'll say you said something, or they'll say you made a point because they want you to defend it, defend yourself, or they'll say you didn't say something because they want you to defend a point. But in reality, whatever you think the argument is about that's not what it's about. What it's about keeping you here and keeping themselves here. And then once you make your point and you defend yourself properly and make your argument, they have you chasing your tail, right? So they'll pull this lever, and then your job is to pull it back up. And while you're pulling it back up, they're pulling that one and talking about something else. And then you run to this one to pull it back up, and now they're here pulling another. It's all about making you chase your tail and explain yourself and keeping you in a position where you are operating from a place of you're already guilty. I think you're already guilty, so defend yourself. I am the judge, you are the defendant. Defend yourself now. I'm accusing you. Bad faith arguments, circular arguments, they have only two purposes. Bad faith and circular arguments, their two purposes are, one, to drain you, right? And to drain, not just drain you, but to keep you beneath them, to keep you occupied so that you don't stop and think. They want you to constantly react to them so that you don't stop and think and go, I don't deserve this. Because if you stopped for a second and stopped answering to what they're saying and just relaxed, calmed your nervous system, and you just went, this person is trying to bait me. I don't like this and I don't deserve it. I'm leaving. But they want you to be drained, and also it's crazy making. It's about making you crazy, because what they're really hoping is not that you'll just constantly chase after your own tail and, you know, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Drain yourself and drive yourself crazy. What they're really hoping for is that you'll commit some kind of reactive abuse so that they can go, you see, I told you I was right. You're the problem. You were the problem all along. And now you're apologizing to your abuser. Hey, Phoenix Lives X, thank you very much for joining the supporters. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you. Thank you. It's very kind of you. I appreciate you guys' support. It really means a lot to me, honestly. Thanks, guys. Yeah, there's really not getting a non-TI to believe in help. My own husband has seen it, and still, even if he believes a military trained electrical engineer, not a dodo, has no idea what to do about it. Yeah, it's just to a certain extent, they just don't know what they could do about it. You know, it's sort of like, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, it's just, even if they believe you, now what? Nothing? It seems like a very small thing to get upset about when you think about it. If literally nothing happens once you get people to believe you, then why are you so upset about it? And I know why you're upset about it, because you're hopeful that this will, getting people to believe you will make the situation better. But it won't. The only thing that'll make our situation better is if every one of us speaks up. Because believing one person is one thing, but once they see, oh no, baby, it's not a couple of us, it's thousands of us, hundreds of thousands of us, right? And when it comes to worldwide, it's possibly in the millions of us. Once that happens, people will start to realize, oh, this is a bigger problem than I thought. This could happen to me. Something needs to be done about this, That's why I think everyone should speak up, because if everyone speaks up and we flood the media with our stories and our experiences, eventually what happens is even the people who don't have empathy, they go, I'm not going to wait until this happens to me, because I know that once it happens to me, it'll be too late. Something needs to be done about this. I just don't care anymore. I don't feel anything for them. They are not human. I mean, that's one way to feel about it. I feel like they are deeply human, and sometimes humans are evil. A couple years ago, I called the FBI again after 5 years since trying the first time. I spoke to a gang stalking neighbor who's an FBI agent. They moved and replaced them with a new set of agents. Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah. I used to hear people talk about like, oh, my new neighbor, I think he's in on it, blah blah, and that happened to me. Right before I moved, the last time I moved, somebody moved in, and turns out he was a perp. He walked. I was walking my dog, and he walked up to me like he was on his balcony, and he saw me, and he ran down, and he walked up to me, and he said, "Did you see this guy walk like a guy walking around here?" And I'm like, "Nope, there was nobody," and there was nobody. I have a camera. I would have seen him, and he's like, "Oh, he was walking around with like a little notepad and a pen, and he was walking there. Did you see him?" I'm like, "Nope." And the whole time I'm looking at him like, I know what's going on, buddy. And he's like, oh, weird things have been happening here, don't you think? And I'm like, you've been living here for like a week. What do you know what weird is? You don't know the normal here. I remember the second day I moved into that place where I was, somebody got poked, like right in front of where I live. And then I thought, oh man, I think I moved into a bad neighborhood. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad like the neighborhoods I grew up in, But yeah, they do that. It's very like it's Twilight Zone-ish when you think about it. You're like, who's going to believe me that people are moving out and then new people are moving in to participate in my organized tour? Like, who's gonna believe that? Who has all this energy to do that with their lives? You know, this is when you start to get into the whole like, well, this is not even believable, son. Like, sorry. Um, okay. That's how we carry our abuse every day. No real help or understanding. The abuse becomes normalized, which is not right. It's true. Nikki lives in Toronto. She's an intelligent woman. Really like her. Yeah, Nikki's great. Nikki's really great. She's really cool. She's very gentle. She's very understanding. Nikki needs to be protected at all costs. I like Nikki. She's great, and she's a great voice for us. I am gonna ask her to do an interview. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Like she's the best person to do an interview with me. I talk to her almost daily. I've talked to her almost daily for 5 months. I think I might be stupid. Sorry. Uh, I called the cops when all my criminal history went offline. Like nothing could be found, and I was looked for every day because the gang stalker started with corrupt police, judges, FBI agents. Yeah, it's unfortunate. One of my stalkers are in jail after trying to put me in it repeatedly. Yet I feel sorry for her. Crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, that only proves one thing, right? You're a good person. If you can feel bad for your enemy after they receive the treatment that they wanted for you, you're a good person. You're a good person. I understand. I know a lot of people will probably tell you like, screw them, they deserve, but humans are humans. When I see people, I don't see them. I see the child version of them, and I see what happened to this child for them to become the way that they are. You know? I think that's why I have empathy for people because I know this used to be someone's little bundle of joy, and now they're an evil. What happened? And whatever happened, whether it be they were spoiled, whether it be they were abused, it was something they had no control over. So I feel bad for them. Oh, she's intelligent, level-headed, good person. Oh yeah, she's great. I'll never get to the point where this is considered the norm. Well, unfortunately, I think that if we don't speak up, it will become the norm. Palantir is coming, baby. It's coming. It just went nuts, smashed up my car. Police come again. This time they did what I wanted the first time and looked up my name in social. They said, no, you don't have a record. Well, I'm like, that's because I have a warrant right now. He said, no, you have a parking ticket. I don't drive or have a license. They take me to psych. Whoa. My husband, when I get out, called the cops on me and said, take her to jail. She has a warrant for assault and property damage in another state. Oh. The cop brings us both out to the car. We sit there again. Go through three names. And my social, and the cop tells me, your wife has a cleaner record than I do. When parking ticket, my husband shut down. I start laughing maniacally. Nice. If the gang stalking is from narcs who you've gotten away from, will the FBI help, or is going to them a bad idea, especially now? Tiare. I can't tell you. I can't tell you what's best as far as going or not going to the FBI. I can tell you what I think. I can't tell you what will be best. What I think or what I would do, I would never go to law enforcement with this problem for two reasons. One, these are often the people who are behind it. These are often the people who are either orchestrating it or that are being used to participate in it. Far too often, I follow a lot of TIs, a lot of TIs. I follow them and they don't even know I follow them. Like I follow their YouTube pages, I watch their videos. They have no idea, you know. And sometimes I'll hear them talk about me. They'll say like, "Oh, I watched this guy's video. You know, he's the war, whatever." And I'm listening. You know, I'm not commenting because whatever. But I follow a lot of TIs and I listen to their stories. There's a lot of people who are dealing with being gangsta up, and a lot of them who are dealing with being followed in particular. They're being followed and harassed by police sirens, by fire truck sirens, ambulances, you know, and it's always very orchestrated. Like it's always the same thing over and over. So personally, I wouldn't go there. And also because there's a certain three-letter agency that I know is behind it. I'm going to let you guess which one it is. But there is a certain three-letter agency that I know for a fact is behind this. So, and it's not their first time doing things like this. So, I wouldn't do it. Not personally. But I'm not telling you what to do. Yeah, Cosmic Queen just basically told you. They want you to care so much that you lose yourself and constantly think about the abuse that they're doing. Yeah, they want to live in your mind rent free. That's what I was telling this guy. You know, he was saying, "Oh, I'm a whistleblower. I'm afraid for my life." You know, and he was saying that I was his life insurance policy or something like that. Like if something happens to me, and I'm just thinking to myself like, Virginia Giuffre is no longer here. She got hit. You know, she whistle blew. She got hit by a bus, and then she passed away. And they said it was a self unaliving. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that that you say. I mean, I think it's still important to like let it be known. Like I have no self unaliving ideations of any kind. I'm healthy. You know, I think it's important to say these things, and in my case, it's true. All I'm saying is that even if you say, if anything happens to me, investigate this person. Virginia Giuffre wrote a book and she named the people that were behind her. Before she passed away, she said, if something happens to me, I don't have any self-unaliving ideations. There are evil people that want me gone. She got hit by a bus. She survived. And then she passed away and they called it a self-unaliving. So I was thinking about the stalking. It might have started in 2007. Mine started in 2007. Had some incidents over the years. 2016, I got to explain what would happen. The world around me shifted. 2020, it went over. Me too. Well, no, it went over before that, but in 2020, it really like it ramped all the way up, way, way, way up. You know. I'm not gonna say what I'm reading that Cosmic Queen has written about three-letter agencies. I'm only going to say that I endorse that message. How long you been on? Just got notified for about an hour actually. Thanks for being here, Lamels. For an hour and 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, it's you know I'm suppressed. What can I do? Oh, okay. Thanks, lead follower. Yeah, the image doesn't look great on my computer, but it looks fine on my phone. I'm guessing like the resolution is not the same. I don't know. We don't fulfill our purpose. That's their game. Yeah, yeah. That is odd. You can't hear it on your other phone. What other phone? I don't have another phone. I promise you, my dog is snoring. Like she is fully sleeping. I don't know if you could see her, but she is indeed sleeping. Say hi, Athena. All right. This is a symptom of CPTSD, obsession with revenge. More often, people don't act even when they know exactly who to target doing this. I don't know, risky business. I don't think about revenge ever. Revenge to me is like, I don't know. It's like such a low vibration thing. Like I'm not at your level. I'm just not, and I won't allow myself to be brought down to your level where you hurt other human beings on purpose. If I hurt someone, it's either by accident or, like, for example, reactive abuse. If someone is constantly abusing me, and I'm sort of either not noticing it or I'm letting it go and just taking it and taking it and taking it, eventually, one would tend to blow up. But I would never plot against someone to hurt them. That sounds crazy to me. You know, I think of the people who participate in this, and I just think, wow, to live with no conscience, I can't even imagine what that is like. Because I have to sleep at night. And when I sleep at night, I ask myself, are you a good person, Kevin? Did you do good? Did you do good today, Kevin? Were you a good husband today, Kevin? Were you a good brother today, Kevin? Were you a good fellow man to your fellow man, Kevin? That's what I ask myself when I go to bed at night. And if I can't say yes, if I can't look at myself in the mirror when I brush my teeth and say, yes, I am a good person. I did do good. I served my community. I helped my fellow man. I picked up someone who was down. If I can't say that to myself, I can't sleep at night. If you can throw someone on the floor and then kick them while they're down and then shame them for having dirty clothes, I can understand you on a intellectual level, but I don't understand you. I don't understand how you are how you are. I mean, I understand how you became what you became, but I don't actually understand you. You know, in order to understand your mentality, I had to study you for 5 years. I had to study narcissistic personality disorder. I had to study antisocial personality disorder. I had to study all cluster B personality disorders in order to understand people like that. That's how deeply I don't relate to you, to anyone who's just willing to hurt people, you know, who looks forward to it, who takes joy out of it. I don't understand you. And to be truthful, I take great pride in not understanding you. I don't want to understand you. I understand, on an intellectual level. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. I understand on an intellectual level, I understand what makes you the way you are, but I don't really understand. I don't really. Because at the end of the day, I still ask myself, well, why don't you change? You know? And I know why you don't, but I still ask myself that. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't fucking want to. My bad, guys. You nailed it. They want you to talk in circles, get confused, get frustrated. It's all bait. It's all bait. It's all bait. They want all of your energy. It's a very efficient way to get all of your energy on them, focused on them. And it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. Narcissists don't care if you admire or fear them. They don't care. They don't care if you love or hate them. As long as they are the center of attention, then that's all they need. If you're the person they love the most, great. If you're the person they hate the most, great. No difference. And if they can't get one, they'll go for the other. They're pathetic individuals. 7 million across the world of us was the estimate, at least. I'm quite sure it's accurate. You've spoken about that man that went postal and then you saw working in the FBI or a guy that looked just like him. It's not a guy that looks just like him. That was him. The man who went postal was Timothy McVeigh. The man who worked for the three-letter agency in question was Paul Weissapal. They are the same person. I have CPTSD and I only want peace. There you go. From tears, if being trafficked and terrorized. Same here. God's love and peace be with you. Amen, my friends. Amen. Amen. I love the positivity. I love the positivity. That's how I feel about it. You know? That's how I truly feel about it. Hey, Scott. H-Down Scott. How's it going, man? Must unify, reach out to other TIs to unite. It's a struggle to unite. Confusing. Makes me angry. Well, you have to understand that people who are going through what you're going through are very paranoid. I know for myself, I don't want to unite with anyone. I don't want to, I don't want to make new friends. I don't want to interact in real life. I really don't. You know? If somebody wrote in my comments, oh, I think you were sent a honeypot. And today I was thinking to myself, was that girl a honeypot? Maybe. I mean, I don't think so, but it is possible. Who knows? Who knows? This doesn't make any sense. They find someone on the rotation home. Exactly, they're military, but I never see them in uniform. I never see them with fellow soldiers. I have army men in uniform over. Thank you for answering my question. Things have been rough lately. I appreciate your time. Tiara, anytime. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. If you feel the need to unload. I felt a resurgence of empathy that I wanted to share with you guys. You know, I know TIs need empathy. They need someone to listen to them and go, I believe you. I'm sorry this is happening to you. Everything's going to be okay. Like a virtual hug, And I'm lucky enough to have my wife, and my wife believes me. And if I go to my wife, I try not to bother her too much with it. But if I go to my wife with my troubles and I tell her what's on my mind, never will she look at me and say, I don't think that's right. I think you're crazy. Or if she does, she'll go, let's put a pin in that and review it later. I'm not too sure, but usually when I tell her about something that's going on with me, she'll say these people are losers. She believes me, and if I need to be comforted, my wife is there. So, but I do remember being alone in this and being in a relationship with my ex and telling her about it. I mean, I wasn't using terms like gang stalking, and I wasn't explaining it to her the way that I'm explaining it now. But the same things that were happening back then that are happening now were happening back then. Perhaps not to the same extent. No, it was the same. But like I would explain it to her, and she would just say, "You need to get checked. You need to go to a, mental hospital." You know, like she had no. I mean, obviously she was a narcissist. She had no empathy whatsoever. Um, so I do remember that time, and though it was pretty horrible of her to react that way. I remember her not believing me didn't really affect me that much. It didn't make me as angry as it made me when my family doesn't believe me. At the time I wasn't worried about whether she believed me or not. I didn't really care. I don't know why, but I didn't. I didn't care. It didn't matter to me. I was like, so what? She doesn't believe me. This is happening. I need to deal with this. I don't have time to care about. I think the reason why I didn't care was because I was so desensitized to her lack of empathy that it was just like, this is not shocking. It's sort of like, I have a family member. I'm not going to say who it is, but I have a family member who has a serious lack of empathy. And that family member once showed me how much empathy she lacked for me. And I wasn't sad. And I remember that person apologizing to me after. Well, it was a fake apology. It was like, "I'm sorry if you got hurt." It's like, that's not an apology. "I'm sorry if you got hurt. I'm sorry I hurt you." That's taking ownership. "I'm sorry you got hurt" is something you say to someone who tripped and fell, not someone you hurt. Take ownership of your BS behavior. But she gave me a fake apology, and I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your apology. I don't care if you're sorry or if you're not sorry. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever familial relationship you think we have, we've never had it. I think about you never. I think about you as much as you think about me. You've been kind to me once in my life. And I remember it, and I was 12. So I think that's the reason why I was not, shocked or bothered with it. I was just like, well, that's her. That's who she is. That's who she's shown herself to be. Anyways, they have a daughter the same age as mine. They're coming from Germany here, like rotating back from where he went. Also, they have a ton of family here, so they're from here. They work here. Yeah, I would be careful of them as well. Not like any military couple I've ever met. The best I've met is they have family in the state who come over sometimes, but they're over every weekend. Mothers, brothers, fathers, sisters. It's not military. They're very open with it. They have cameras on me right now. I've shown Kevin the camera. Yeah, he did. They have it right on my house. I did see that. You can't look bad regardless. It's true. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's more like you can't look good anyways. It's like when you explain your situation, you're even if you're calm. You guys see how calm I am when I talk about gang stalking. You see how coherent and down to earth, matter of fact I am when I speak of gang stalking. I'm not in a panic like they're doing this, guys. Help me! Right? I'm not doing any of this. Like I said, I have about 200 to 300 family members. All of them are aware of what's going on with me. All of them think I'm nuts. All of them. All of them? All of them. There is no looking like a normal person when you talk about a civil conspiracy being brought against you by the government. You just have to kind of make peace with it, do your best, but understand that people are still they're not going to view you as truthful, because they're going to go with the conclusion that makes the most sense. And the conclusion that makes the most sense is you need your meds. And even for me, that's the conclusion that makes most sense to me. I remember speaking on what was happening to me for the first time, and as I was talking, I was realizing, oh my god, I sound like a nutcase. It was a very unsettling moment, and I remember stopping talk. Like I stopped talking, and I was just like, I have to figure out a way to say this because I'm drowning right now. Like I'm drowning myself here, making my situation worse. So let go of your ego. Let whatever people think of you. I view it like, oh man, I don't want to say this, but I view it sort of like victims of SA. And I don't want to minimize what they go through or compare it to what we go through, though it is comparable to some extent, but I view it like victims of SA. A lot of them don't speak out because of they're afraid of the shame that comes with admitting that this happened to you. I'm sorry guys if I didn't give you guys a trigger warning. But a lot of them are fearful of the shame that will come from admitting that this happened to them because they understand that society, though they're wrong to do so, society looks at them differently. And I have such a huge admiration and respect for the people, men and women, boys and girls who go through that and still speak up because they understand that has nothing to do with me. I didn't bring this upon myself. I didn't cause this. I didn't ask for it. Someone did this to me. The shame does not fall upon me. Whatever shame you have for me, I refuse it. Return to sender. And that's how I feel about it. That's why I speak so freely about it. That's why I share, publicly on my personal Facebook, on my personal accounts, not just here. I talk about gang stalking daily, every single day, every day, because it's happening every day. I feel no shame about it. My cousin told me, well, people are going to think you're crazy. Aren't you worried about that? No, not even a little bit. Not even for a second. I don't care. Who cares? This is happening. You can say I'm crazy if you want to. It doesn't change the fact that it is happening. You can shame me if you want to. You can try to shame me if you want to. I'm not doing it. It's happening to me. So, revenge, no thank you. Just want peace and my life back. That's right. That's right. Check revenge is low vibrational. Yeah, revenge is just low vibration. The best revenge is living well. Tiari said it best. And that's what I told the guy who was worried about his life. Who was talking to me today. I was telling him like living in fear is no way to live, man. This is happening. Not much you can do about it. Besides, be careful. Keep your wits about yourself. Don't do anything dumb. Maybe don't take a trip alone to the Grand Canyon. You dig? You understand are you picking up what I'm putting down? But living your life, making all your decisions based on fear, that's no way to live. Nah, no thanks. Putting energy towards hurting others only degrades the self. This is why abusive people need to constantly do so, because they cannot fill the void within through causing more pain. That void is insatiable until it is faced and dealt with, kept in check, and put into other avenues to motivate change in productive ways. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why, you'll find some of the best people and the deepest thinkers at the gym, because a lot of them used to be, used to put their energy into negative things like hurting others or themselves through all kinds of means. And now they're just focused on getting themselves, creating the best versions of themselves. And that's how I think you should live. Do not allow fear to contaminate your life decisions. It's healthy to be aware and to understand your situation and to move accordingly. But revenge, fear, all these low vibration, that's where your enemy wants you anyways. Leave that to him. Peter chapter 3 verse 8 through 12. Peter chapter 3 verse 8 through 12. Do not respond evil with evil. I'm saying we all have CPTSD to one degree or another from this, and that is a symptom, and some TIs are not as high EQ. Yeah, I agree with you. Seems like everyone I meet just ends up being a gang stalker, so I don't talk to anyone except TIs. Well, that's a good idea. It's a pretty good idea, actually. Billy Wiggins, the name of the documentary is Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control. Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control. Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control. A question for all. Have you all had a narc just before gang stalking began? I mean, my mother was a narc. My mother is a narc. So, yeah. And then I started dating a narc, and then shortly after, that's when the gang stalking began. But, a lot of people who don't believe me, they'll say, it's not the government, it's your ex. But I'm like, no, it's not. It's not her. It's not her at all. But, they don't know what I know. So, it's all right. I'm fortunate to live in DC, where there are a ton of TIs. I have a ton of friends that I actually trust. This room opened me up to people around the world, though. And I'm so grateful for that. Well, thank you for being here. And I'm glad you have a lot of friends around your area. That's great. I put eyes looking down on my t-shirt. Pissed people off. You're funny. Funny is important. It's important to be funny. The classic apology from the narcissist. I'm sorry you feel that way. that is true. They love saying that. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you got hurt. I'm sorry you got hurt. No, you hurt me. Full apologies. When a narcissist apologizes to me, I'm just like, keep it. I don't want it, because sometimes they'll say the actual words. They'll say, I'm sorry it hurt you. Man, oh man, let me tell you the story. This is actually a really good story. And this happened to me, oh man, 6 years back? Yeah, I guess 6 years. Yeah. I mean, I had just broken up with my ex of 13 years, and I started dating, and I met this girl, and we were sort of messing around. We were messing around, and she did something. I don't remember what it was, but she did something or said something, and I decided to just not talk to her anymore. And then she sent me a letter, an apology letter at my job. And my ex's stepmom was my landlord, so she's the one that gave me the letter, and I'm guessing that she read it. So I'm reading this, and I see like her apology, and it was such a sincere apology. This is like a 2-page letter apology. And then I ignored her for several months. I ignored her, and then that was in the summer, and then in the I'm talking loudly. Man, this is some noise canceling. Anyways, for several months I ignored her, and then in the winter, I was having a downtime. So I made the mistake that we sometimes make. I texted her and I asked her, "What are you sorry about? You sent me this letter. You saying you're sorry. What are you sorry about?" And she gave me this, you know. I mean, I'll be honest. I just wanted to hit one last time. Uh, God forgive me. But yeah, she said all the right words, and I showed up. We did what we did, and right after we got done, her ex-boyfriend is knocking on the door, and I didn't know it was her ex-boyfriend. She got up, she went to go check, and she's like, oh, "It's my ex-boyfriend." She's like flipping out, but I could see in her face that she's smiling. She has a smirk on her face, you know. And as I'm looking at her face, I'm realizing she orchestrated that. You know, she wanted me to meet her ex-boyfriend who, of course, she told me was, at one point in prison, and that he was abusive to her. He was a violent guy. So I'm like, all right, your ex-boyfriend just happens. Like, he never came here when we were together back then, but today is the day that he's here. All right. So I'm getting dressed, and I don't put my belt on. I put it around my fist with the belt buckle right here. I'm left-handed, and I'm waiting for him to come in, but she's just like, should I let him in? Should I let him? And I'm just like, no. And then she's like, well, don't you want to like go see him and say something? And I'm like, not particularly. So I just walk out the other door, and as I'm walking out, I'm waiting to see if he's going to come see me. He didn't. I just got in my car, I left, and then I blocked her everywhere. That was a lesson right there. That was a lesson. Like, God told me, value yourself more, Booty is not worth it. Sorry. Sorry, guys. That was not my proudest moment. I hope you enjoyed the story. I think it's a good story. I thought it was, I mean, when it happened, I didn't think it was funny. Because I thought I was going to have to end up, getting into a Donnybrook, a scuffle. And I'm not afraid of a scuffle, but I don't look for it. But I was ready that day. I mean, I was ready. I was a little out of breath, obviously. And I was like, all right, here we go. Here it is. I was like, that's what I get. That's what I get for making that mistake. Okay. All right, I'm gonna man up and deal with it. So I'm just getting ready, tying the the belt like real tight, and I'm just waiting, I'm about to one hit quit this dude, and he never went after me. I'm pretty sure he had no idea what was going on. Like, she probably told him, like, come pick up your stuff, come at this time or whatever. Or like maybe she owed him some money, I'm guessing, maybe, and she was like, "Oh, I'll give you your money, come pick it." I don't know what she said to bring him there, but I could tell that, like, when she was telling me, like, oh, it's my ex-boyfriend, like, the little smirk on her face, I could tell, like, she orchestrated that. She was trying to get me back for breaking up with her. I was right. I should have stayed right, because now I'm wrong. Still hit though. Sorry. I'm sorry. I went through years of abuse, and that opened me up to realization I was being gang stalked. Anyone have a similar? Was it in a romantic relationship? Do you think that the person that your narc abuser is the one that put you in that situation, or? My narc ex-husband is FBI, GPA, help. do this to his daughter's ex-husband in the 90s has a record of stalking him. I just didn't know because I wasn't a Snoop. Yeah. They will eventually be confronted with the reality of gang stalking. They will. In this life or the next. It's my dog snoring. It's my dog. Sorry, sermon seeker. I mean, the gang stalking had been going on in the background, but after my narc, I finally realized it, so they did me a favor. Yeah. I feel like for a lot of people, when they go through gang stalking, often they will, the gang stalkers will wait until something like a breakup happens in your life to pile on because we know what their goal is, right? And what better way to achieve their goal than to kick you while you're down? That's the type of people they are. That's it said the same thing. I sound like a nutcase. Yeah, we sound nuts. I mean, as much as you listen to me and you go, oh my God, this guy gets it and he's so coherent and he's like, when I most of my videos, not all of them, but most of them, I'll write down what I'm about to say to make sure that it's, very well structured. But to someone who's not going through what we're going through, I still sound nuts. I sound like a crazy person. My cousin told me, because his big brother is schizophrenic, apparently. And he told me, oh, this is in the family, it's genetic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not schizophrenic, brother. Like, I get it. I get that, like, you've been seeing it up close and you think that my symptoms resemble his symptoms. That makes sense. It makes sense for you to come to that conclusion, but I'm not schizophrenic, brother. Like, that's just not who I am. And if I was, I wouldn't be ashamed of it. I didn't choose it. But I'm saying, like, I'm not schizophrenic. And what he told me was, well, at least now I know how an intelligent schizophrenic person sounds. And I was just like, what? If you weren't my big cousin, I would. And he's not just my big cousin, he's my biggest cousin. So it's out of the question. Gang stalking, that it has taken over my life. Have a hard time having a normal conversation lately. So much worry about my dad, just wants some peace. Stay Excel, you get good at what you practice. I started to practice speaking to my cousins, my brother, the people I love, the people around me. I started practicing talking to them and just not bringing it up. At first, I didn't succeed. But then at one point I did. And then now I never bring it up. And when they bring it up, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. When they bring it up, I tell them I don't want to talk about that. But in reality, what I mean is I don't want to talk about this with you. And I'm not going to. And you can't make me. So it's switched. I've gone from I want to talk about it and they won't listen to me and they won't believe me, but also they don't even want to listen to me, And now I'm at the point where, like I'll post stuff on my Facebook and they'll message me about it and I'll just be like, I don't want to talk about it. And they go, well, you don't seem like you're doing okay. And I'm like, I'm doing fine. It's like, well, your post says different. It's like, what business is that of yours? I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this with you. I'm not interested. This is a waste of energy. So you get good at what you practice. Just practice. That's how you know we're not, though, because we clocked that this sounds insane. Crazy people don't know they sound crazy. They fully believe their reality is the only reality. I heard someone say, crazy people don't think they're crazy. They think they're getting smarter. They think they're smarter. But I do realize, like, when people tell me they don't believe me, I go, well, yeah, you're not supposed to. What I'm saying is not believable. I'd be worried if you believe me. When people say they believe me, I'm like, why? What have you gone through? What have you seen? Yeah, so as if serial unalivers don't exist, can't get how a general public can't see how evil exists and twisted minds, go figure. Yeah, it just is what it is, you know. It's but at the same time, I think that it's not so much that they can't fathom that serial unalivers exist. What they can't fathom is the government has mounted a civil conspiracy for the past 20 years on you. Who are you? That's how they see it. But what they don't understand is like, no, 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 no. Millions of us. Millions of us. And then they go, why? Why would they expend the resources, the time, the energy? And I go, money. You go, what money? Whose money? Your money, your tax money. You know, the I just shared this on my personal Facebook today. Anyone here who follows my page, my personal page, not the War Against Narcissism, like my actual personal page. Anyone who follows my personal page will be able to see it, but it's a video that speaks on how Quebec, the state province where I live in, used to take orphans and labeled them as mentally ill so that they could send them to mental institute because the mental institute got more tax money than the orphanages got tax money, right? So they would send them to mental institutes in order to get money. They would sell them out, basically, these orphans, and they got MK Ultra. These kids, electroshock therapy, drugs being administered to them, lobotomies, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And if you're not aware of MK Ultra and the fact that the Canadian and the provincial, the state government, the Quebec government, both okayed the experiments, both of them, and thousands of children and other people were victim of this, and only 77 people were financially compensated for it here in Canada, not in Quebec, in Canada. 77 out of thousands. And in the US, out of thousands, 9. 9 people in the US. 9. So if you're unaware of this, you go, the government would never do that. They would never waste so much time and energy into torture. Why would they? And you go, well, they've done it before. Plenty of times. MK Ultra ended it in the 70s. Allegedly. It was discovered in the 70s. It was discovered to have ended in the 70s, but, one thing about 3-letter agencies, they lie. Hey, Harriet, how's it going? How are you? I'm glad to see you. I won't be staying too long. It's almost 2 hours. So I am gonna leave soon. I'm sorry. I'm guessing you just got the notifications. Suppression. These narcissists are so superficial, dead inside, low vibration nonsense. These people should be on a watch list. Yeah, they should be on a watch list. People think other people are like them, good people that have the best interest. We aren't aware that this kind of evil walks the earth. We don't have that many interactions with this sort. Yeah, it's true. It's true. At least you blocked her after. Yeah, I did. And she messaged me from a different... No, actually, no, she didn't. That wasn't her. Sorry. It's a funny story. It is a funny story. It's a very funny story. I almost got into a Donnybrook that day. That would have been weird. But I was younger at that time. I was 34. So that would have been interesting. I gotta go. Thanks, Kevin. God bless you all. God bless you, Lamels. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. If you knew she was a narc, why did it take you long to leave her? Would you have eventually married her? Well, thank God she never wanted to get married, and neither did I, so we never got married. However, I did, when I started dating her, I was 20. I didn't know what a narcissist was at all. I found out what a narcissist was when I was about, I want to say 30. Yeah, about 30. No, 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 no. 28. About 28. I found out that she was a narc uh 4 years before we broke up. However, I didn't quite understand what a narcissist was and the depth of how important it is to leave a narcissist. I just heard a vague explanation of what a narcissist was, and I thought that describes her. But I didn't understand. These are people who get worse. These are people who are evil. These are, I didn't understand none of that. But then 4 years later, after 4 years later, what happened is she became physically abusive, which got me to Google some things like my girlfriend thinks she's always right. My girlfriend never apologizes, and that word narcissist came up again, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this word 4 years ago. I've seen this word before. So I researched it, and boom, it just hit me like I was supposed to break up with her 4 years ago, and I'm in this situation because I didn't see the signs. So I started informing myself, every day on what narcissism is, and then I was on this mission to like prove to myself that she's a narcissist, because for some reason it's not okay to leave her if she's not a narcissist. And then, today I realized, like, yeah, if someone is abusive, you don't need like a diagnosis to leave them. If someone hits you across the head, you probably should leave. But, I was a different person, a much different person. Sometimes I'll tell these stories to my wife and she's just like, what? And I'm just like, yeah, the person you know today has nothing to do with the person I was. I was a doormat. So, yeah. But yeah, at the time when it happened to me, it was very devastating. My life was flipped upside down. And today, it's one of the greatest things that could ever happen to me. I view it like a blessing. Truly, I see it as a blessing. So I wouldn't have it any other way. They really piled on me when a friend of mine unalived herself for a whole year. Yeah, they love to do that. When your life is down, when they know you're down, they kick you. I already told you that is the line. They tried to take on me and my dad too. The police go dead silent when I told them we're not blood related. I'm adopted. Yeah, I remember that. So sorry about your friend and Nathan. Yeah, me too. Sorry about your friend, Sty. Usually I don't have a problem doing normal stuff in conversations. Just the last half year has been absurd. It'll be all right, Sty. It'll be all right. Everything's gonna be fine. No te preocupes. What are the odds me and my adopted dad are both schizophrenic, having the same delusion? His mind doesn't show up till he's late 50s. I'm early 30s. Now you sound conspiracy theoretical. Yeah. They've designed this torture program to look like schizophrenia. It's all about discrediting the victim. All right, guys, I can't stay too long. It's been 2 hours. I'm just going to read the last few comments. I know they've targeted you and your brother as well, so they will work a family to give credit to their narrative that it's schizophrenia. Yeah. MK Ultra didn't end. It got a rebrand and update. That's it. Yeah. But them pigs were thinking, fuck, if we were trying to make this look like an inherited illness, we got the wrong parent. Sure did, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I read all the comments. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hold on. Have you ever watched videos from the Days Are Evil's channel? We need to organize and get out there and help this unsung hero. He's out in the trenches informing the public about how gang stalking. Really? Really? I would like to see it. That's interesting. Who? The days are evil. I can't find him. Hold on. Let me put an act before. There we go. All right. I've never seen him before. Oh, he's doing public speaking. Oh shit, he got arrested. Organized talk. Oh, I'm following. Well, thank you for sharing his page. I'm going to check him out. I am going to check him out. I can't speak on what he does yet, but I am going to watch some of his videos. I think I've seen that one before. No. Maybe months ago. Yeah, maybe months ago. I'll check him out. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, thanks for being here, guys. Yeah, I mean, I might even interview him. Who knows? I'll try to get in contact with him if I like everything he's saying, for sure. The fact that he's out in the streets is pretty cool. What I would like to see is him interacting with people, like him actually speaking to people, because this is not the kind of thing that you can talk about publicly and then people will listen to you. I remember being a kid, I was a teenager, and there was this guy downtown who just like had a table and he had all these like secret society pamphlets and saying like all these people are evil and our money is not backed by the gold standard, and and then I was just looking at him, and I wanted to speak to him. I was like, what can we do about this? And he was like, well, it's important to raise awareness, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, I'm aware. What can we do about this? And he just kept repeating himself. Well, if we raise awareness, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah, but like, realistically speaking, what can we do about this now? And now I'm in his position. I'm like, let's raise awareness, guys. And people are looking at me like, what can be done about this? So, God has a sense of humor, doesn't he? So, that's really funny. Oh, Jennifer responded to me. Oh no, she didn't respond to me. She just liked my comment. There's this girl that I found on Facebook, and she posts about organized harassment. She says her profile, her bio says real estate agent, mother, certified human rights and anti-trafficking consultant, and she posts videos where she just talks about her story. And as I'm listening to her, I'm just like, man, that sounds like me. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's exactly what it is. You're 100% right. And I'm listening to her, and I'm just like, this lady is very coherent, very, she presents herself well, and she speaks about what's going on with her without any like erratic emotions. So I would very much like to interview her. Anyways, hopefully she'll respond to me. I just sent her a part of my interview with AJ, just so that she could see my work and see if she's interested in it. But I would really like to speak to her and interview her, or just interact with her. She's a very interesting person. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see how that goes. But at least she saw my message, so that's really good. Anyways, I do have to go because I finished the game Expedition 33. I know, 33. And it's fantastic, and I'm playing it again because it's fantastic. I don't know if you guys are into video games, but honestly, if there is any video game I would recommend, it's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a French studio that created it. If you're into games like Final Fantasy, my God, they did everything right. I mean, Final Fantasy, Square Enix hasn't been able to get to create a good Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 15, which I'm realizing is like the one before 16, which 16 is the last one. But a lot of people don't like 15. But you know, they put out like 7 remake, which is garbage. And Expedition 33, they got everything right. Everything. So I'm gonna go play that again before going to bed. So, hey Jam, how's it going? I'm sorry, I do have to go. Thank you, Lee follower. Thank you. Have a great night as well, Cosmic Queen. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope you guys have a really great night. I hope you guys have a fun weekend this weekend. Hopefully, I'll see you guys by Sunday. Clair Obscur. You need to get that today. Trust me. And it's cheap. It's super cheap. It's the best game I've ever played. Ever. And I've played a ton of JRPGs. It is the best game ever. After Final Fantasy 15, because I really love that game. Yeah, I'd put God of War Ragnarok down for Clair Obscur. Trust me. Just trust me on this one. Pick it up after. Anyways, guys, you deserve grace. You deserve mercy. Love yourself always. Take care of yourselves, guys. Love you.